Alrighty, so I'll just explain this. So this is a turbo shaft, or stub axle I call them. Some people call them half shafts. Toyota call it a side shaft. So that's a turbo one, and this is an IS300. IS300 has a smaller 6-bolt PCD versus the turbo shaft, but it has a thick spline here to fit the 8-inch diff, right? So that's an open JZX diff. Now, some people would say that if you're putting an 8.6 Torsen in, that you need open half shafts or stub axles. I was always curious at what that meant and how they differed, and I've since found out that these shafts that I've got are in fact Torsen shafts. They're not open shafts, because that's an open diff. I guess I'll put one in and I'll show you how it differs. So let's just grease up our seal. I'll grease up my spline just to make it easier. I guess I'll grease up my shaft. That's what she said. So we'll just do this very quickly. So this is one of the IS300 ones going into the open diff. Reason why I have an open diff here is I actually have two of them because I sold my 8.6 diff. I'm getting one built with a Cusco center and 4.3 gears. But because I sold my 8.6 Torsen, I want to be able to move my car, so I got another open diff. So we'll put the IS300 shaft in. All right. So the area we're looking at is in here. See how this shield is right up against, and the shaft has gone right the way in, okay? That's locked in. It's got a little bit of movement, but that's locked in, and this dust seal goes up against there. If we take the turbo shaft, and I'm not going to put it in, but when we put the turbo shaft in, what happens is this dust shield sits out of here by about 5 millimeters. So essentially the stub axle doesn't go all the way in. It doesn't go in quite as far as this one. So since I've got both shafts and I was able to measure them both, I've figured out where the issue lies. So let's put them up like this. Get down on the ground. So this isn't an accurate representation because this face and this face might be higher or lower. But what we can do is, so the diff locates on this face here, and the spline ends or starts just here. So let me just adjust my thing with one hand here. Alrighty, so see how the bottom is on this shoulder, and then I've lined the other bit up with just here where my finger is. All right, so see that? That's 55 millimeters, okay? When we put the verniers on this shoulder here, have a look at this. See how the shoulder just here is actually past there. And so what causes it to not go in far enough is this shoulder here. So I think what you need to do, people have talked about taking some off the end of the axle, and maybe that's the case, but I would assume that it's off this area here. I'd have to do some more, I guess, measurements or looking around, because you don't have a lot of room before this little circlip here. So I think it's this shoulder here that stops it from going in too far. What I would do is I would machine off probably, well, let's measure it. So the other one was 55. And this one is... This one is 62. Yeah, 62. So there's about 7 millimeters of extra shaft here. So yeah, I reckon that's it. I reckon it's that shoulder that's what's stopping it from going in and sitting right in. This shoulder is the same, the distance from there to there as this one, there to there. So yeah, I think it's this area here that might need, 7 millimeters sort of taking off it. I'll have to look into that further, but that's the difference between a turbo Torsen shaft and essentially what's an open shaft, an open diff shaft. Although in saying that, that's off a IS300 Torsen, so I don't know. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, an open shaft, Torsen shaft. And that's an open diff, Torsen who knows? Who knows? I'll have to do some more research, but I'm going to get this diff back in the car. Maybe when I go to do the, put the LSD in, I'll do some further investigation. But yeah, if you found this helpful, leave us a like. If you figure out what it is, or what it is about the stub axle that needs altering, please put it below in the comments. And yeah, click subscribe to keep up with more of my low-tech videos. Thanks for watching.